Hi there, my name is Toby, and on this video I'm continuing my little series on life and death. And today I want to try and explain reincarnation. Now there's quite a lot to unpack here, so let me try and explain it to you step by step. You see, we've got several options at the point of death. Mostly we just want to go back to spirit, rest in peace. The soul returns to the unconscious mind and it becomes one with everything. In a way that is the highest level anyway. It's beyond this body, beyond this material world, beyond even an etheric body. It's gone back into the abstract. But this is not guaranteed. It's like you have to pass over in a very peaceful state. You have resolved your emotions, and then you can just transfer back to the deep sleep, the unconscious mind. But also, of course, you can pass over into an etheric body, an astral body, a ghost. I'm using all these terms interchangeably. There are subtle differences. People do talk about that, all the different levels, the mental body, the soul body, the astral body, the etheric body. Yeah, it's all I'm just calling that all the same thing, etheric body. So I'm breaking it down into three simple levels. The physical body, then you've got the etheric body, and then you've got the soul body. The soul body is more abstract. There's no body, so that can return back to spirit. Now, if you pass over in great emotional turmoil, pain and suffering, unresolved emotional issues, that is a lot of emotional energy. Emotional energy is etheric energy, a particular experience of the soul. That is an actual energy. So if you pass over in this emotional pain, the chances are the soul will still be stuck in that emotional energy. So you will have an etheric body created by that emotional energy. And the soul is stuck. Now we have a ghost, a low-level ghost. And it tends to be stuck in the area. For example, we know that a haunted house, some terrible things happened in this haunted house, and you've got a ghost stuck there. Because there's this trapped emotional energy, but very low-level emotional energy, pain and suffering. So the etheric body is created by that emotional energy and is stuck there. So now that requires a healer, a psychic, an exorcist, and they go to that place and change the energy, try to release that stuck emotional energy, that blocked etheric energy. And if they can release the energy in that place, it will unlock the ghost. The etheric body of the ghost can release, and that soul can go back to spirit. But this is still low level. You see, there is a spectrum of emotions. Low level emotions tend to be pain and suffering. That's very heavy etheric energy. Higher level emotions, spiritual experience, peace, love, happiness, ecstasy. This is a higher level of the emotional energy. It's a lighter form of the etheric energy. So if you pass over in that sort of emotional state, for example, in your sleep. You know you're going to go. An old person, they're ready to die, and they go to sleep every night knowing, tonight might be the night that I go. And they go in peace every night to sleep. Acceptance. Yeah, I'm going to go back to spirit. And then they pass over in peace, in their sleep. And it's a nice, easy transition. But that soul has got a bit more awareness, a little bit more wisdom. They're not stuck in this lower level emotional pain. So they have some awareness of spirit. They know they're going off somewhere. And they might also realize, I've gone now. And before they return to spirit, they're still in a bit of an energy body. They've still got their etheric body, and they just go round to their loved ones. They go and say hello. Hey there, I've just passed away and I'm on my way back. So they let everyone know. So all their friends and family, they have a little feeling. My loved one came to say hello. And then they went off. So they could do that. And then they pass away to spirit, and that's it, they've gone. Now, of course, there's a third level, which is reincarnation. So reincarnation is not guaranteed. It's not automatic. You see, a ghost stuck in this emotional pain, they're not going to reincarnate. They're stuck there. And you will also get a higher being. Okay, a higher being has got awareness of their energy body, awareness of their etheric body, and they know at the point they die, the physical body dies, they know they will still be in an etheric body, and they go off and do some other things. They might want to continue the advancement of their soul on an etheric level. They might want to travel off into space. You see, there's a lot of stuff going on in the universe, not just here on planet Earth. Or they might want to hang around planet Earth to do some help. So in an etheric body, they can travel around the planet helping people. They might want to do that. So they're not going to reincarnate. It's a choice. And some souls might decide to reincarnate. I want to keep on going. I've still got a lot to learn in this physical body, so I want to stay here, have another go. So, for example, it might even happen like this. As a person is moving towards old age, they know they're going to die soon. And actually, the moment of death is dependent on when there is another body getting ready. So the soul is actually looking around. I've talked about this before. You see, this physical body cannot just manifest. The soul will manifest a body, but it cannot just appear. The physical body must be grown. So they're looking around in the dreams, looking around for another set of parents, a place that they like. Okay, I found two people in love and they're living over there. I can see, all right, there's some good energy there. Maybe I will reincarnate in that family. And when that family is ready, then it's time for them to die. They die here and the soul goes over and reincarnates into that body. The mother gets pregnant and the body is starting to grow. And they do say there is a point when the fetus has grown to a certain amount that the soul can start coming in. So at that point, the energy body goes in, it starts to go into that physical body. But it doesn't go all the way in. It's only a tiny little fetus. The body has to grow. As the body grows, more of the soul can go in. Again, this is how the energy works. So and actually it's when the child is born, even then all of the soul is not quite in yet. When the child grows, reaches puberty, the body changes once more, the body becomes bigger, At that point, the soul can go fully into it. So that's why children are still very spiritual. They're still in a dream. They're living in imagination. The soul is still an etheric being around it. The body is still small, and gradually the soul is going in. Now, if that child has a good life, very happy, enjoying life, then the soul is quite happy to go in. And you get a powerful body, a happy life. If that child goes through trauma, doesn't work out, you might think, the soul thinks, I'll go to that body, it looks good, but you cannot know. You've gone into the body and, it goes wrong. Life is a bit harder now. So the child, if it's having a terrible time, the soul doesn't want to go in. It sort of stays out. And the child lives in a fantasy world. It's more like the spirit or the soul has not fully gone in. It's still staying in spirit around about the place. So that's why, again, you have a lot of psychic phenomena around children. And they say that also the poltergeist was to do with teenagers. Powerful etheric energy around a teenager. The soul is coming in, but there's some disturbance, not quite happy. Powerful energy, so it might have some slight physical effects. A poltergeist effect. It's just the etheric energy, doing different things, interacting with physical energy. Now, there is another level to this as well, you see. You have the birth and death of a soul. You see, a soul comes from spirit, and it also goes back to spirit. You could call that the birth and death of a soul, but there's no death. The spirit is immortal, but when you return back to spirit, it's like you've even let go of your etheric body. Physical body you let go of, etheric body you let go of, and you go back to the abstract spirit. The collective unconscious. And then from the collective unconscious, a spirit can decide to have an experience. So a spirit will create an etheric body, a soul. That is like pure spirit giving birth to a soul. And then that soul decides to have a physical body. It looks around, tries to find a parents that it likes. They're going to have a baby. I'm going to go there. I like that one. I'll go there. So you could think of that as the first incarnation of a soul. And you can so etheric body is an intermediate stage between spirit and the physical body. That is the level of a ghost, but that ghost is usually, like I said, low level, very heavy etheric energy, stuck in a particular physical location. High level etheric body is not stuck. It's higher level emotions. They're freer. They can travel around doing good work, and they have more conscious awareness. Low level ghost has not got any wisdom, hasn't got conscious awareness. It's very low level consciousness stuck in a particular emotional trauma. High level ghost is aware. They've got consciousness and they're choosing what to do. So they could hang around in an etheric body for a long time, thousands of years, and then one day decide, do you know what, I'm going to come back down now. And then they choose to reincarnate. In the Buddhists, we can see this. The Dalai Lama, in the olden days, the Dalai Lama were reincarnated. So the old Dalai Lama, at the point of death, they would tell everyone, all the other monks, listen, I'm about to go now, but I've found another place to reincarnate. I'm going to be reincarnated over there in that little village. Go and look for me there. So they knew, they had a plan, because they were doing some work. You know, their practice was to look after the people And the Dalai Lama was the leader, the spiritual leader. Now, I've got to say, it's not the same anymore. The Dalai Lama we've got now, he's nothing much, nothing special. Not at all. I'm talking in the old days. And even the old shaman, again, the same thing. We had a much better spiritual connection. Even the old shaman would know, listen, I'm about to go, but look for me in that village over there. I'm coming back. And okay, the Dalai Lama, so when he would pass away, all the other monks would know, they would meditate, and then they would go to look for the new baby. And they would keep an eye out, and when the child was old enough, and they'd meditate, they'd know, I think that guy is the Dalai Lama again. They'd go and bring that family to the monastery, or the temple, whatever it was, and they would lay out all the objects of the old Dalai Lama. But they would put other objects in there, different ones. So it was like a little test. And they would use the child would come in and they would show them all the stuff on the table, and the child would know straight away, oh, that's mine. And he'd go and pick it up. That's my object. Oh, that's my one as well. And he'd pick it up. So now they would all know, okay, the next Dalai Lama is this child. But remember, it's still a child. The full incarnation has not yet happened. So they still have to look after the child, teach it, remind it of all the knowledge. A child still has not fully got the language. The brain is growing. The brain has to be reprogrammed again. The etheric body is around it, but not fully in it. And gradually you train the body, teach them the language, teach them the spiritual philosophy. Then when the etheric body, the soul of the Dalai Lama comes into it, the brain is ready, all the knowledge is there again. And now we've got the Dalai Lama continue. And they would continue and continue for generations. But interestingly, you see, I used to read about all this stuff when I was a child. And I used to think I was a Tibetan monk as well. And what happened? Okay, what happened was, towards the end of these things, the Dalai Lamas and the Tibetan monks, they started to realize the world is changing. It's no point just hanging around here in Tibet. We got to go elsewhere now. And they also realized the energy is changing. Even that it's not so much power in Tibet like there used to be. So they chose no longer to reincarnate in that area. So the Dalai Lama would say, do you know what, I'm off. No, I've got other work to do. Forget about me now. I'm not coming back here. So they would go and reincarnate in different places around the world to do some other work. So that's, again, I used to think that. I had this feeling. I read all about Tibetan monks when I was a child. And their astral travelling. There was a particular series of books about a monk called Lobsang Rampa. Some of you might know it. Lobsang Rampa. Loads of books. He talked about astral travelling, going in and out of bodies, all this stuff. So I read all those books. And even as a child is when I first started practicing astral travelling. So I a lot of energy as a child, very spiritual, but a difficult childhood. Also had a lot of pain and suffering. Okay, here it's where it gets interesting. The soul may have reincarnated, but still has memories of the past life. It's still connected to a past life. Sometimes it doesn't. Mostly we don't. We forget. We forget because when you go into a new body, it's a new brain. A new brain and a new learning. That brain has got new memories. So when the soul comes into it, it has to use the new brain. So it has a slightly different personality and a whole new set of memories. It's more of an advanced soul. An advanced soul has still got connection to the whole ether. The ether is the Akashic record. I've talked about this before. It's a sort of memory. It's not really a memory, it's just the energy All the energy is there. So you can tune into the energy of your past life, remember it. So sometimes you have that. Now, I could describe a little experience to you. See, I had a very good connection with my grandmother. But I lost touch with her as I became a teenager, and then she passed away. So I missed all that. And for a long time I was very sad, because I missed out in many more years I could have had with my grandmother. And she was, would have been a very good influence on me. She had a good way of living. She was a hard worker, very well organised, very kind. She looked after everyone. I would say, a very wise soul. And she knew how to live well. She had a hard life, but, a good life. And then years later in my dreams, in my meditations, see, what I would do is also go back through my life. In your meditations, what you have to do is try and resolve your past trauma. It's what you've got to do. Meditation is not running away, it's going inside, facing up, finding balance, increasing your energy, increasing the inner harmony. And to do that, you have to resolve the unresolved issues, past emotional trauma. And I knew I got a lot of sadness still with my grandmother. But some years ago, one night in my dreams, you often have, a psychic connection. And in my dreams, I met my grandmother. And I saw my grandmother, but she turned round to see me. And she couldn't quite recognise me. She could, but couldn't. It took her a while to recognise me. Of course, I recognised her straight away. And I realised, even at that moment, it's because she has already reincarnated. She's in another body now. She's a different person, slightly different person. But that body, that energy still had a connection to me. So perhaps that new body was dreaming. Her soul, etheric body, was in a dream in the new body, but still it came to me. And I'm in my dream, I go into my etheric body and I meet her. So we met in the spirit world, the energy world, for a moment. And we had eye contact. And we had that, and I told her how much I loved her and how much I was grateful for her. And she understood it, she recognised me, she remembered me. So I know we had a strong connection. Even in her next life, she remembered me and came back and met me. And then she went off, and of course I woke up. And I knew I met her. That was it, done. I have resolved my connection with her. I was able to tell her how much I loved her, which I couldn't do in life. I missed it. And she had the message, she went off, and I knew that's it now. Probably won't see her again, because she's living her next life now. But I'm free. I've resolved that now. I've got strength for my life. That issue is no longer there. That pain is not in me anymore. And I know she's happy, and we have a connection in spirit. I've always got those memories of her and what her energy taught me. I learnt something from her. That's always with me. I'll tell you another reincarnation experience I had, rebirth. One of my past life experiences or memories, I had a very strong memory of being a Native American. What they used to call the Red Indians. I was actually, I think, an Apache Indian. So these guys are powerful warriors, the Apache. And I just have one memory of riding a horse as an Apache Indian. And I was I was a warrior, very powerful, angry. I was so angry, and I remember swearing vengeance on the white man. And I have this memory now, born in the body of a white man. So the irony, it just made me laugh so much. Such a powerful memory, just the memory of being on a horse, swearing vengeance against the white man. That's it. But it was a very powerful emotional state, and I swore an oath. That means I locked that memory into my etheric body. So even though now I probably had maybe a couple of lifetimes between, now I'm here, I still got that oath. I remember it, swearing vengeance against the white man. And here I am in a white man's body. What the hell is this? But you see, the body doesn't matter. Different bodies, but on the etheric body, it's all the same. And you can have male or female bodies. That doesn't matter. The soul is not actually male or female. Etheric body is just energy. That is more fluid. Remember, the etheric body can disappear back to spirit. The etheric body just dissipates. But the spirit can formulate an etheric body. I create a soul body, and then I create an etheric body. And then an etheric body might go down and look for a physical body that it can occupy and have a life, an experience of the physical world. Material substance. Now this is again very similar to possession. When somebody gets possessed by a ghost, by a spirit, and of course they talk about demons and angels, it's all just etheric bodies. But if you want to talk about a demon, it's just a very powerful ghost, etheric body that is stuck in some very painful emotions, pain and suffering, hatred, and it's condensed and it's localized. See, a demon, a bad ghost, is usually localized. It's stuck in a place. You go away from that place, it doesn't follow you. Now, of course, they do say higher demons. Some demons, we call them vampires. They're a bit more powerful. They might follow you. But they can only follow you to a certain extent. You can protect from them. Higher etheric beings, we're talking about angels now. They're more free. They could do what they like because they're not stuck in a particular energy. They're on a higher level of the emotional energy, which is more diffuse, spreads out more. They could go where they like. But the higher level beings, okay, you've got to understand this. The true higher level beings are not going to possess you. That is bad manners. It's like you don't come to somebody's house and break in and take over the house. That's a criminal. So only a low-level ghost, a sort of demonic ghost, would possess you. They come to you, see they can get in, break into your body and take over. That's bad manners. Higher being wouldn't do that. A higher being might be around you, but they're very polite. They just talk to you in dreams. They say, hello, I'm around. Do you need any help? And you'll say, oh yeah, thanks, I need some help. All right, I'll give you some help. A low-level spirit will be attacking you, trying to get in. What the hell, get out. It's a burglar trying to break into your house. Very rude, bad manners. And a lot of the channelings, again, are possession, but sometimes it just happens to you. Someone came to me, talked through me. Yeah, that's a low-level channeling. They wouldn't break in like that. No, they don't break in. Really, when you want to talk to higher beings, they're not going to possess you. They won't do that. That's low level. You will have to go into deep meditation, and in your deep meditation, you might find some. You say hello. Again, you don't just barge in. You find a higher being, and very politely, you're on the outside, you say, hello, do you mind having a little talk with me? And they'll say, oh, yeah, you approach me nice and politely, I'll talk to you. Then you have a chat, and then you come back and you say, I had a chat with a higher being, and this is what they told me. It's not quite the same as a channeling. We've got to understand this. So possession is low level, and again, you have to be quite weak to be possessed. Now, saying that, there is a legend I often talk about of the Tao Masters, the immortals. So these were the ancient shaman. And I've talked about this before, but these shaman would go into a cave and they'd lie down in suspended animation, their body, and they would travel off astral traveling, doing work in the energy world. But their body, they'd have one disciple, and their one disciple they were teaching, and their job was to meditate and look after the body, because it's just left in a cave, a wild animal would come and eat it. So their job was to look after it. And this immortal was traveling around, but his disciple went off, and his body got attacked, eaten by a wild animal. So when he came back, his body was damaged. He can't get in it anymore. It doesn't work. So he ran around looking for another body. Now, again, it's very bad manners. You won't go in, steal someone's body, because you can. A powerful soul could go in, possess you, take over. He can't do that. Very bad manners. That's the dark side of the Force. But he looked around and he found the body of an old cripple. So this old cripple was just dying anyway. And the old cripple just died because his soul was too weak to actually fix that body. So that the body of that old man disappeared, went off. The soul of the old man disappeared, went off. But the body was still there. And very quickly he jumped straight in and took over the body of this old man cripple. Because he was a more powerful etheric body, he could fix it, heal it, make it work. It only just died. So after he died, then he went in, took it over. And now the story goes, this Taoist immortal travelled around in the body of a cripple. So he's always a cripple, shuffling around, but still an immortal. So you could see that as possession, but it's not quite possession. It's something different. Again, it's the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force. Depends what you do. What I'm trying to explain here in this little series is the science of it, how it all works. But this is a spiritual science. Interaction between soul and body. Well, it's really the interaction of spirit, soul and body. 3 levels. And another Taoist master, again, at the point of death, they used to say that the Taoist masters would also vanish. Their body would disappear because they're transmuting the physical energy upwards, advancing into higher and higher types of consciousness, but still actually alive, aware of it. And another one of the Taoist masters said, okay, at the point of death, I want you to look in the sky. You see there's a place there, when I die, there's going to be a star appear. And of course, this is written in Taoist history. Apparently, at the point when that master died, they all looked up the sky and a star did appear. Now, the idea of that story is essentially that being, that master, at the point of death, his consciousness, etheric body was advancing, becoming a light body, but actually becoming bigger than that. Entering into the cosmic play. Everything is consciousness. Everything is a manifestation of spirit. So you're going into spirit, into an area of massive etheric energy where a star is forming. So he went into that energy and became part of the formation of a star. No longer human. This is why we can't understand it. We're stuck on low level, still being human. When you advance to a higher being, you're going beyond being human. Consciousness is getting bigger. You're becoming one with the cosmic movement of energy. You're becoming one with the Force. That's why the Jedi, again, they go into an astral body, but now they're one with the Force. They're moving very powerful energy around. So that's why higher beings, angels, can do some work on this earth because they're higher beings. Their consciousness is much bigger. They're connected to much larger movements of etheric energy, and they can send a large movement of etheric energy all the way across the earth. And we can all benefit from it. Low-level etheric body, like a ghost, they can come and see you, say hello, and they hang around a little physical area. It all depends on the level of consciousness and the interaction of that consciousness with the etheric energy. So I hope this made sense. It's a big subject, so please do leave me any questions or comments. Thank you so much for your time in listening to me, and I look forward to see you in any of these other videos here.